Lauren Rosella, and today we have about 8 to 10 minute stretching video, and this is specifically targeted to help you with any low back pain that you might be experiencing. What happens is when we sit in this position for a long period of time or on a regular basis in a chair at our desk, on the couch watching TV, in a car driving, we have a tendency to have our hip flexors get really, really super tight. We lose strength in our glutes, and then our hamstrings also get really tight. And when we have these sorts of things happen where we have an over-tensing of one side of our body and a loosening of the other side of our body, we create muscular imbalances, and this can result in low back pain. It can result in IT band pain. So today what we're going to do is I've got two props. I've got a towel and I've got a chair. And so we're going to utilize these two props so you can get a nice, easy stretch for your body. Something hopefully that will help you feel a little bit better. So we're going to start grasping the towel. You can also use a belt. You can also use a yoga strap, anything that you have. And about shoulder width apart. We're going to take a deep breath in and we're going to lift those arms overhead. Sink those shoulders down and away from your ears. Try to lift your rib cage off of your pelvis, sitting up really, really tall. Find a neutral neck so that chin is going to be parallel to the floor. Elongating the back of the neck, opening up that chest and pulling those arms, those hands away from each other. Take a deep breath in and lower those arms back, down. Again, inhale, lift. Lift up nice and tall, and exhale, lower those arms back down. This time we're going to add on, take a deep breath in, lift those arms overhead. Now we're going to hinge over to the right side, opening up the left side of that rib cage. Try to keep that head evenly in between your arms, and try not to hinge any lower than your rib cage. So engaging that right oblique, and then rise back up to center. Take a deep breath in, and exhale to the other side. Opening up that left side of the rib cage, engaging that core. And inhale back to center. And exhale, lower those arms back down. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. Exhale, hinge to the right. Inhale back up to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center. And exhale, lower. This time we're going to add a small, slight back bend. Deep breath in, overhead. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, slight back bend. Engage that core, very, very small bend in that low back. And exhale all the way forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. You can also do this standing. Inhale. Exhale, slight back bend. This time, exhale, we fold it all the way over, rounding our back over our legs, relaxing our neck. And slowly rise up, control with your abdominals, bracing, lift all the way up as you inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the back. Inhale, center, and exhale. Fold it all the way over. We're going to do that one more time. Deep breath in, all the way up. Exhale, right. center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, back. Inhale, center. And exhale, fold it all the way over, rounding your back. Taking your right foot and placing it inside that towel. We're gonna do a little bit of a calf and hamstring stretch. So extending that leg, and depending on your flexibility here, you can go really close to your foot with those hands, or you can leave a little bit of distance. You also may notice the higher your chair up, the easier this might be. The lower your chair, it might be a little more difficult. What we want to do is we want to keep a nice tall posture, taking a deep breath in, exhale, hinging at the hips. You should be pulling that towel towards you, flexing that foot. You should feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings and the calf. And release it. Inhale. Sit up nice and tall. Brace that core. Exhale. Hinge forward. Nice stretch in that hamstring and calf. And inhale. Release it. Exhale. Hold. Keeping that long, strong spine. You may start to tremble a little, and that's okay. Inhale, release, and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. The goal going deeper and deeper each time. And release it. Release that towel. Switching sides. Left foot now is wrapped in that towel. Remember, stretching should not be painful. So if you're feeling pain, that is a signal to stop. It may feel uncomfortable, especially if you are stretching muscles that have spent a lot of time contracted. So remember that. Pain is not good. You may feel discomfort though, and knowing the difference is part of becoming more self-aware and more aware of your body. So extending that left leg now, sitting up nice and tall. This is my side that really, really bothers me. I don't stretch it enough, so I'm gonna feel this. Deep breath in, sit up tall, exhale, hinge and pull. Notice I'm not folding over my leg here. I'm sitting up tall, and I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see that. I want to make sure when you do this, you're not rounding your spine. Sit up nice and tall. Deep breath in. Exhale, hinge. It's not a big movement, especially because I am myself am tight in the hamstrings and calves. Inhale, release. Exhale. Excuse some of the paint I have on me today. I've been painting today. Inhale. Exhale, pull. Inhale. Exhale. Contracting that core allows you to keep that strong spine. Last time. And exhale. And release it. I'm going to take that towel away. You can go ahead and stand up. So we're going to come into a hip flexor stretch with the use of your chair. This will help you with balance. And I encourage you to use a mirror too, because it's really important that you focus on those good biomechanics. So we're going to step back with one foot, standing up tall, tilting that pelvis under, so that back leg should bend a little at the knee. And then we're going to sink down into that stretch. So bending your front knee, driving your body straight down. You should feel a contraction in your glute as you try to take out all of your hip flexion. So remember, when one muscle in our body contracts, the opposing muscle loosens. So that's what's going on when we are trying to stretch out our hip flexors, is we are trying to engage the glute at the same time. And release it. Deep breath in. Tilt that pelvis under. Drop down into that hip flexor. You can widen your stride a little bit if you need a little bit deeper hip flexor stretch. And release. This is my weakness here. Exhale, sink into that hip flexor stretch. So you may notice 3 or 4 repetitions in, you may feel like it's loosening up already, and that's great. Something you can do every day to help alleviate some of those deviations in muscular imbalances. And release. Another stretch I do, which is very similar to this stretch, is on the floor. Now, some of you may not be able to get up and down off the floor, so you stay in that standing position. If you're able to get down on the floor, and this is something that bothers you, front knee, 90-degree bend, back knee, 90-degree bend. You're going to tilt that pelvis under, engage that rear glute, and drive your body downward. Your goal really here is to take out as much hip flexion as possible. Really try to feel that part of your body stretching out and elongating. And release it. Take a second, take a breath. Tilt and drive downward. A lot of people come into these runner's lunge positions. I'm not exactly wearing the right pants for this, but trying to get as deep down into that lunge as possible. When we're talking about hip flexor stretching, it is more important where you get that pelvis involved and less important about how deep you can go into the stretch. So tilting that pelvis under, engaging that glute, and then sinking into that stretch a little bit more. Now I'm going to face the camera here in that standing hip flexor stretch. We're still on the same side here. So now, if your left leg is back behind you, take your left arm up to the sky and hinge over to the right side of the room. You may feel this all the way down through the entire left side of your body. And release it back to center. Switching sides, taking that right leg back now. I'll turn to the side. Right leg is back now. Stand up tall, tilt that pelvis under, and then sink down into that stretch. Try to eliminate all flexion in that hip. Stand up tall and release it. Inhale, tilt, sink down. We want to make sure we do this equally on both sides, so I'm actually going to come down to the ground again so I can do this side. Even though my other side is problematic, this side I need to make sure I do just as much. And release. So stay here and continue doing that, sinking into your stretch as you exhale. I'm going to come down to my knees, tilting my pelvis under, and then sinking forward into it. Engaging that glute, squeezing that glute is going to help me elongate that hip flexor. We spend so much time in hip flexion, especially if you work at a desk or if you drive a lot for a living. We spend so much time, it's almost impossible to spend an equal amount of time stretching your hip flexors. That it's really important that you do it. And believe it or not, this part of your body can wreak havoc on your lower back. And I'm not going to go too much into the biomechanics of why that is. But if you Google it, there are some very smart people that have really, really good explanations for why that is. All right, I'm gonna face that front again, tilting that pelvis under, sinking down. Now my right arm comes up and over. So we want to reach toward our front leg. And we should feel even more stretch all the way through that side body into that psoas. And release it. All right, I'm going to use the chair, but we have a couple options for this next figure 4 piriformis and hip extensor stretch. So I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right thigh, flexing my foot, pressing my knee out away from my body, and sitting back into, as if I'm about to sit into the chair. And I'm going to leave the chair here. So I'm going to show how we can incorporate that in here. So you can either do this stretch holding on to something for stability and balance. It's more important that you get the stretch here. It's not so important about the balance. We do other stuff to improve our balance. Focus on that stretch in that glute. Now, if this is really hard for you, if you have trouble balancing on one foot, you can have a seat, crossing your ankle over whatever part of your leg is comfortable. Again, it's easier in looser clothes. Tight-fitting clothes make it much more challenging. Opening up that hip. Do not force it. If you have really, really, really tight piriformis or really tight hip extensors, this may be all you can do. So it'll be a work in progress. It'll be something that you will try to improve. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open it up even more. And release. And switch sides. Turn this around. Now my other leg crosses over. Figure 4. Open up that hip. Sit back into that chair. Or literally sit into that chair. Again, this side is much better for me. You're probably going to have one side that's a little bit more loose than the other. The same way you have a stronger side typically. That's our goal, is to try to rectify some of those muscular imbalances. That's why we need to do it on both sides. Deep breath in, open up. Try not to force it with your hand. So now we're still seated. I'm going to cross my right leg over, and I'm going to pull my right knee in toward my chest. So now we're stretching out a little bit more of that hip and that glute med. Sitting up tall. Deep breath in. And release it. Taking your left hand to that right knee and just incorporating a gentle twist. So I'm not going to twist too far here. I'm going to sit up tall, bracing my core. Anytime we do a twist, we really want to brace our core to stabilize our spine and our pelvis. And just open up that chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, brace and twist. Keeping those shoulders stacked on top of our hips. Inhale. One more time, exhale, twist. And release, switching sides. Crossing that left leg over. Grabbing on and pulling that If anything, try to pull that knee up towards your opposite shoulder. Sitting up tall, ooh, that feels so good. And release it. Keep that leg crossed. Gentle twist, deep breath in, brace that core, exhale. We have a little spider friend. Again, it's probably the same one from the last video. Inhale, release. Exhale, sit up tall, brace that core, and gently twist. Do not force these spinal twists. And release it. Deep breath in. Last time, exhale, twist. And release it back down. Scooting out to the edge of your chair. We're going to press those knees open, heels in, toes out. And we're just going to press those knees open to feel a gentle stretch in our inner thigh. Feel a little muscle cramp there. Again, not forced. And if this is too much for you, just bring those feet in a little bit. Take a deep breath in and notice, I'm going to go off to the side again. Notice that my spine is still long. I'm still keeping that neutral spine even though I'm hinging forward and pressing those elbows out. Core is braced. And release it. One more final stretch, seated cat-cow. You can also do this standing, or you can do it on your hands and knees. So you're going to take your hands to your thighs, take a deep breath in, open up that chest, press that navel forward, tilt that tailbone up, and then exhale, pull that navel in, round the spine and tuck that chin to the chest. Inhale, lift, cow pose. Exhale, round and cat. One more time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And bring it right back up to that neutral spine. I hope that helped alleviate some tightness in your hip flexors and maybe even a little bit of low back pain. Try to stay moving. I know times like this, it's really easy to become sedentary and sit down a lot. But if you happen to be sitting around watching TV, drop down on the floor and stretch a little bit. Your body will thank you for it in the long run. Stay well, everybody.